Reported from Russia that Iran has a very large number of air defense missile systems in name. Contains many different systems in production countries. Before the 1979 revolution, Iran established a very powerful air defense system, including the British Light Sword air defense missile system and the Hawk air defense missile system, as well as various surveillance radar stations produced by the United States. After the Islamic Revolution and during the Iran-Iraq War, Iran's air defense system fell into a severe decline due to US sanctions and difficult economic conditions. After the Iran-Iraq War ended, Iran made great efforts to restore the combat effectiveness of the air defense system. For example, in a short period of time, he mastered the overhaul and modernization of all components of the American-made Hawker air defense system, as well as the maintenance of many American-made surveillance radars. In 1987, Iran purchased China's Hungki-2 air defense system, and then Iran imitated China's Hungki-2 missile. At present, although various measures have been taken for the repair and partial modernization of the aforementioned Hungki-2 air defense system, the Hungki-2 is physically and technically obsolete, and Iran will withdraw from active service within the next 5 years. Iran also has the SAM-5 long-range air defense missiles. Among the 6 sets of the SAM-5 long-range air defense missiles, only 1 to 2 are on alert. In the 2000s, Iran purchased 29 Doyle M1 short-range air defense systems from Russia, which greatly improved the capabilities of Iran's air defense systems. Iran's most powerful air defense system is 4 sets of S-300 PMU-2 provided by Russia in 2016. These air defense systems, together with the Doyle air defense missiles and their own systems, provide cover for Iran's nuclear facilities and other most important strategic facilities. Iran actively created its own air defense system, and Iran managed to build its own Rod mobile air defense system. In 2013, Iran demonstrated its own modern medium-range air defense system, Talash. The air defense system consists of a multifunctional radar with a phased array antenna and a mobile launcher equipped with a SED-2 air defense missile. SED-2 is equipped with an inertial guidance system, which is calibrated during the main flight phase, while the semi-active homing head provides guidance during the final flight phase. The Saeed-2 missile has a range of 100 kilometers. In 2017, the range of the SED-3 air defense missile was increased to 120 kilometers. Finally, at the National Defense Industry Achievement Exhibition on August 22, 2019, the latest long-range air defense system, Barwal 373, is equipped with the SED-4 missile, which has a flying distance of 200 kilometers. The ability is better than S-300 and close to Russian S-400. Therefore, as a regional power, Iran has managed to establish weapons that can effectively counter modern airstrikes. Now Iran has enough production capacity to maintain the number of missiles. A distinctive feature of the Iranian air defense system is that it has a very powerful radio technology force and a large number of modern automated control systems. In addition to a powerful surveillance radar network, Iran has also deployed several sets of over-the-horizon radars that can detect flying targets up to 1,100 kilometers. In addition, these radars can track ballistic missile launches and satellites in low Earth orbit. There is no doubt that Iran's air defense system and a large number of various missile systems are powerful factors preventing the United States and Israel from trying to solve the Iran problem by force. A few months ago, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards held a large-scale maritime parade in the Persian Gulf. Iran's national television said that the military parade at sea and the detention of American soldiers were basically the same in time, and it was intended to commemorate the incident. Judging from the public video footage, dozens of ships participated in the military parade, while Iran's national television station claimed that as many as hundreds of ships participated in the military parade. Since Iran's seizure of a South Korean oil tanker some time ago triggered some actions by the U.S. Fifth Fleet in the Middle East, and a few days ago, the Iraqi army conducted large-scale joint exercises among various services and arms. Therefore, this maritime parade is somewhat of an after-show. The problem is that military parades at sea, because of the super background of the sea as a foil, it is not appropriate to make up small boats. People who look at the photos with only the track, but can't see the shadow of the boat, and almost look at them, probably thought it was the water escape stealth method. Even if the waters of the Persian Gulf are relatively closed, the ship's tonnage is too small, it is still easy to show fear. If you want to build a modern navy, the requirements for the country's industrial development are very high. Although Iran's industrial level is good in the Middle East, it is still in line with those oil tyrants who do not develop other modern manufacturing industries, except for oil extraction. Compared with Turkey, which is also a Middle Eastern country, the gap in Iran's military industry level is more obvious. For example, Turkey has a certain civilian ship manufacturing industry and on this basis has developed military shipbuilding capabilities. In addition to large tonnage amphibious assault ships of more than 10,000 tons for export, Turkey has also built a number of 3,000-ton stealth frigates, which can be used by themselves or for export. These are not available in Iran. After the rupture of the relationship between Iran and the United States, it was quickly invested in the consumption of the Iran-Iraq war for 8 years. In addition, the long-term antagonism with neighboring Sunni countries made it a large amount of defense expenditure has to be used first in the development of army equipment and missile fields. After all, army equipment has fewer requirements for cutting-edge technology and has a low starting threshold, while missiles are disposable weapons that can use range advantages to deter imaginary enemies. Therefore, in the past few decades, Iran's armament has been improved mainly in these two areas, while the navy, which requires greater investment and accumulation, is much weaker. So far, Iran's largest warship built by itself is a so-called destroyer with a displacement of only 1,500 tons. Self-built submarines are still using fixed vent pipes with a tonnage of only a few hundred tons. Yes, it is equivalent to the level of World War II 80 years ago. Such a lineup cannot scare the US Navy anyway. Therefore, the most deterrent weapons of the Iranian Navy are mainly mines and shore-to-ship missiles. It is only in a few areas such as the Strait of Hormuz that the power of these weapons can be easily exerted. Therefore, maritime exercises rarely leave the Strait of Hormuz. Anyway, due to the lack of large ships to oppose the formation, the scene of the Iranian naval military parade is really not enough to see, but to some extent, reflects the self-esteem of losing the enemy and not losing the battle. However, from a reasonable point of view, it is better to show off a little bit of work and to exercise more real skills in building warships so that you can be more confident in front of the United States.